Is we ready, man? It's the That's Just It podcast show. Everything's going on. Everybody's waving what's going on. We got it good. He used his communication miles. He don't need you. It's all right. We back in the house. It's the episode 18. It's the That's Just It podcast show. That's what's up. We back in the house. And I got 4 of my hosts in the house.
Oh, look out.
I'm glad to see a full house. That makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
I be needing this through the week and everything. This is my therapy. Of course it is. And
you need
speaking of therapy, we got our guest, Brian Chaney, back in the house.
Welcome back.
Mr. Therapy himself. The black therapy. Chocolate therapy.
Help a nigga out.
Chocolate therapy.
Appreciate it.
That's right. See how I got that right at the beginning, Lou?
You did.
That's what I'm saying. See, that's Brian Chaney in the house.
That's what's up.
And we started off like we always started off, so y'all can get our host and everything and get them woke and everything and out their phone and shit. So,
All right, how we doing this today?
Can I get, look, I always come up with them. I want a referral.
A referral.
Give me a referral right quick. Anybody throw one right up in the air. Let's see how quick I can come up with 4 of them.
All right, well, how would you greet somebody in a different language, foreign languages?
Okay, foreign languages. That was easy.
All right, let's find out.
All right, because now y'all got to work for it.
Okay, let's find out.
All right, my man to the left, Profound Rucker. If I was Spanish, how would you greet me?
I don't know Spanish.
You don't know no Spanish, dog. No Spanish. Stop. No Spanish. No Taco Bell. No nothing.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
That's how you would greet me?
That's the greet.
All right, mild sauce.
Here we go.
I take some mild. Yeah, I take mild on the side.
The whole Spanish side
My
of
man
family
Profile,
will
he
fight you.
never...
I thought you weren't going to him first anymore. I thought like that was in the contract.
I just had to get it out the way.
Sandwich him.
I just had to get it out the way because this is what we expect, right? We already knew it was coming, right? So it kind of
I
like...
had faith in the brother.
I did too, but I mean... We gonna have to tell him at the week before what it's gonna be at the end of the week.
before. I'm on your
That'll
side,
work.
Profile.
That'll work.
So this is expected, so I'm saying, to kind of get the rotation and the motion and the rhythm off. So now we can get the rhythm back going on.
All right. Damn. All right.
That's all right, because you're gonna be prepared next time.
Keep it Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Next
That
time.
counts.
Right.
That counts. Okay. What you got?
Shine.
Yes, sir.
Pastor Shine.
Yes, Jesus is Lord.
Welcome
What you got?
back, brother.
Amen. What you got?
What's the name of your other podcast show?
Come let us reason together.
Come Let Us Reason Together. Check him out on Saturdays
at 5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock, where he's really, doing his pastor thing.
And pass the thing. Yes, biblical
We
study.
are blessed to have him here.
Thank you.
Because it's 4 heathens in the pastor. 4 heathens, a reverend in the pastor. 3 heathens, a reverend in the pastor.
Can I just be a half a heathen?
Right. And then Miles. And we not counting Brian. We not counting you. Yeah. Because you professional.
He a professional.
Yeah, you professional.
Oh, really?
So I know you military, Pastor Shine.
Yes, sir.
And you probably can give this one better than anybody.
Okay.
If I was German.
Ooh, German.
How would you greet me?
If I was German. Hold on. I might know this. Hold on. No, auf Wunderschön is goodbye. You see, hold on. Let me think. You got me on that one. Because I know a little German.
Heil Hitler would have been good with me.
But for the sake of being a pastor, right, and being a minister, because I do have a little bit of Greek and Hebrew under my belt, I will use a little Jewish thing and say Shalom Mishpocha, which means hello family.
Only you can do that.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? I appreciate that. Shalom to you too, my brother.
Shalom Mishpocha.
Show off.
I said Hebrew.
Hebrew.
My man, Reverend Lou ESQ.
Hey, what's up, bro?
What's happening?
What up, though, Habibi?
He did say Arabic, bro. I didn't say nothing yet.
Oh,
I'm gonna give you another one. If I was Jewish, how would you greet me?
Damn, you got dark.
That's good enough with me. Hey, shalom. Shalom.
Y'all dirty, dog.
My man, Des Cortez.
What is Cortez?
The Sag man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Call him that.
We can call him what we want
Right,
to,
man. How you
nigga.
gonna
God,
tell
right.
me
You
about the
hush.
type of
Right, he
I
ain't
can
even
have?
supposed
You
to
ain't
be
even in the
talking.
show, dog.
Right, God damn. He's late, now he's talking.
Can show ghosts just come in here?
Right.
Show goes.
The show goes. The show goes. That's perfect.
That ain't right.
That show goes. Right.
Show goes.
My man,
What up, though?
Sag Des Cortez.
Oh, you said sad.
Sag Des Cortez.
As in Screen Actors Guild.
Yes.
Right.
I'm sorry.
No, that's just you and your
terrible.
dirty ass ears.
You terrible.
You need to clean your ears. Your filthy, sticky ears. Clean your sticky ears. Des Cortez.
What up, though?
If I was Muslim, how would you greet me?
That's a religion.
I don't care. What? If I was Muslim, how would you? You don't know how.
I thought we said a language.
Okay, can I? Okay. If,
I'm not related
my
to
brother.
these
if,
people.
if I was Indian, how would you? If I was Indian, how would you greet me? Get your ding. Oh, I see what you did there.
Smart. Smart.
Yeah.
I was thinking how.
Yeah.
That's
That'd be a
good.
little racist. I
That
don't know.
works. That works. So
That's
you
Native
know.
American.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's why I was like,
I wouldn't die. Yeah, I would die.
You went that? Yeah, that was smooth.
Yeah, that was smooth.
We are back in the house, and every week we try to come up with something different than everybody else. Because Miles got a whole bunch of podcast shows on podcasting, and we like to be different. Even though he won't put them all on the list so we can know what they are and promote them. God damn. I feel like I'm on.
Can we take up a collection for the therapy pot?
Right. We on 10. I'm talking about for you. 108.8 and shit. We on 108.8. AM.
That's the
Right.
We are right. The box. We are the box. So we back and we coming up with another subject, and sometimes it's hard and sometimes it's easy because things happen in life. And the fact that we are so honest on this show. I mean, at least I am. Some of our hosts, they be holding stuff back and they don't want to really give us the inside of them to tell, so we can share and relate to the experiences.
Damn, Dad's open up.
I thought he was
Trouble area.
So I know I'm an honest person, and the thing is, you can't get out of somebody else's show. If they tried to put this together, you couldn't get the honesty of each person to put in y'all show. Y'all could probably get somebody else. First of all, you probably couldn't get no reverend to be in no show like this. That's the first of all.
Ain't enough holy water in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
And then secondly, you would have to get 3 people to the gay reverend lawyer. That's 3 things. That's 3 people. Actor. But I mean, we act. I mean, come on. I mean, you can get somebody to be an actor because everybody seems to be an actor these
you're right
days.
about that.
Yeah, you're right. Right. They ain't went to school or nothing, but they actors.
but they
I mean,
actors.
that's so disrespectful. Fuckers.
those what you call players. That's the difference.
I don't even call them players because they wouldn't even know what a player was.
Well, that's all right.
If you called them a player, they would think it was an insult.
Well, okay, I give you that.
Right.
No, I give you that. That is true. I will give you
Dirty, ugly asses on these movies. What the hell? No skills, no nothing.
that. That sounds like
Just
another
on the
movie. Sound like another therapy session.
Right, sounds like right. But we ain't here to talk about that. We're here to
Right.
talk about relationships.
Right.
And the fact that I mean, because that's what the show is about. There's look like we talking about relationships. Yeah, we talking about relationships. And the name of the topic of the show today, is Mr. Charlie.
Mr. Charlie.
Mr. Charlie. Because anybody has any idea except for Lou why I might call this show Mr. Charlie.
He's just a man. He's trying to do the best he can.
Hardest working man.
Did I say that to you?
No, sir.
Okay.
Hardest working man in the show business.
You hit that? No, he hit it right off the motherfucking. Did y'all understand what he said?
Do the best.
Don't
Say it
blame
again.
Say it one more time.
Charlie. Mr. Charlie is just a man.
And he's doing the best he can.
I remember that song.
So the name of
That didn't ring a bell.
Right.
I didn't ring a bell.
That's
Sorry.
yeah, and it's not supposed. It's Betty. It's Betty Wright. Right.
Yeah.
Lou's supposed to know Betty Wright.
I was thinking about a Dudley Randall poem
You
about Booker
supposed to
T,
know-
about WEB. When Mr. Charlie needs a hand to hold a cotton on his land, or Miss Phoebe needs a cook, why stick your nose within a book? I don't agree, said WEB. If I should have the knowledge to seek knowledge of chemistry or Greek, I'll do it. Charles and Miss can look elsewhere for a hand or cook. Some men rejoice in skill of hand and others in cultivating land, but there are still those who maintain the right to cultivate the brain. So when you said Mr. Charlie, that's what popped in my
So tell me. I mean, it's one thing to recite it, but what does that mean?
What?
What does that mean?
What I
you just said?
That was from Dudley Randall's Booker
But
T
what
and
does it
W.
mean? You just recited it. What is the purpose of it? What does it mean?
Again, to answer your question, that was from Dudley Randall's
So it don't mean
Booker T and
Booker T and W.E.B. Du Bois.
And
Right.
it was exploring the argument between the two. Booker T was about going to work, learning the
Right.
skills,
Thank
and
you.
W.E.B. was about getting an education.
Right.
That's what
But
I'm
when
talking
you
about.
said Mr. Charlie, that's what popped in my head.
And because I'm asking you so I could try to use that with my Mr. Charlie. You know, that's why I was asking you, because if I don't know, then I can't apply it to the same thing.
Yeah.
So one is about going to work, and one is about learning. There you go. Right. I'm like Oscar. One is about learning skills. One is about going to work, and one is about.
Booker T's stance was get the land, build up the property, be business owners. Whereas W.E.B.'s preeminent argument was get the education, go to school,
Right.
and then help to make those changes.
That's still an argument today. Look, Miles.
is.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Miles is against that. Right. Fuck that. That's not why we're here. And I'm not cursing. Stop cursing.
But in your
Mr. Charlie.
we're using that for the
Right. Mr. Charlie is just a man, and he's doing the best he can. And the name of the song is After the Pain.
Okay.
And that's Betty Wright. After the Pain. So it's like, in that, that's the reason why she say Mr. Charlie is she says that when you're about to leave out a relationship, the people come and tell you, the old people come and tell you, don't blame Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie's just a man. He's doing the best he can. So they're giving him an excuse to be the way that he is.
Okay.
They're trying to say, don't leave that man. He's just Mr. Charlie.
Okay.
So that's why that look, Miles, like, how does that apply? That goes to why does a man need therapy
Okay.
after a relationship? After a breakup, why should a man call a therapist? Why?
He should call a therapist after he wake up. Period. No matter what.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay, but maybe he's not calling a therapist. Maybe he doesn't have one. But why should this be the reason that he starts to call a therapist?
But also, too, I think we've been raised as men, especially the men that are around our age, to take our emotions and suppress them.
Boom.
You know what I mean? So right now we're at the point where we're seeing like people who really start to come out and talk to people and really start to understand what's really going on from other standpoints than just what they're thinking of. Then they start to get better. So in this day of time, you got to get better, right?
That's a good point. And if I can add something that I would love, if it's okay,
Please,
I'd love to bring
yep.
our host in, right? Let's flip that a little bit.
So y'all always bring the host in. Y'all,
Yeah.
You're supposed to tell your part.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
because I'm going to bring my part because I think
Okay.
that's something. So from your professional perspective, then, if I can ask you, why is there, and he kind of hit on that a little bit, but why is that if there is one, and maybe you could correct me if I'm
he
wrong.
jumping the gun.
But that stigma of why.
Yeah, you jumping the gun.
I'm jumping the gun, so you want me to hold off?
Yeah, I was asking
we ain't
each
have no
person.
schedule.
Yeah, right. I was asking y'all how it
Why that
applied.
black man need that?
Yeah, and
Okay.
then we
Then
gonna
bring
get to
that
the
in there.
therapist,
Okay,
and
no.
then he was gonna give us the professional.
Don't let me jump the gun there. I will
no,
put the book
no
back
problem.
in. I will put the book
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. When you heard the title, I mean, when I'm saying this to you, why do you think a man should go into therapy after a relationship? Because I believe you have something to add to that.
Yeah, no, yeah, me personally,
Yeah.
because that for me, after my first divorce, that was the first. Matter of fact, even before the divorce itself, when everything was going on, I had to go to counseling because I've always prided myself on being able to make decisions. You know what I mean, and I can roll with the consequences. But when you're dealing with the emotional aspect of infidelity. And trying to just work your way through that, and then still trying to live your everyday life, I have to agree that it was really overwhelming for me. And in a nutshell, one of the things that the counselor helped bring out of me, because there was a time when I actually went to a session and I was so angry. Right. And I generally don't get angry, but when I was so angry that even when I went to the session, I was just yelling. All right. And so instead of just like trying to calm me down, she let me yell. All right. So for the whole session, when she was asking me questions, I was just yelling, like going off, like I was swelling up on her. And so long story short, when she got to the end of the session, she said, so for all of that, she said, how does it make you feel? And not even realizing that I gave the answer to my own problem. And I even yelled it out. I said, I feel like I lost myself. And then after I said those comments right there, I just broke down and started crying. You know what I mean? And so that's when I realized that, man, So when you just in context of what you're saying, that, after a breakup or even in the midst of when it's going that way, therapy is definitely something that, it definitely helped in that sense.
And I don't want to lose, what you just said. Did you want to add anything to that, Brian? To what he just said? Because we're going to go through each host and then, do the same thing.
Well, I can summarize it real quick.
Go ahead.
I mean, definitely going through breakups triggers a wide range of emotions, from sadness, anger, guilt, self-esteem, and then definitely dealing with infidelity and abuse. And we've seen those rates increase during COVID.
Right.
And those can be very traumatic, so definitely to seek therapy. And this conversation is going to go deep, and it's going, we're going to touch on a lot of things, but just that and I don't know if I mentioned self-esteem. It had you questioning who you are as a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's you cheating or why she cheated, it's still going to have you question some things.
Right.
So, we gonna dive into it.
Right. Appreciate that.
And we talk about the SAG, so just remember sadness, anger, and guilt, and confusion.
Wow, how you put that together?
Real quick.
Because I will never forget it.
Right. So since he put that out, when I told you what the topic was going to be about, what did you think? What did you get out of that?
You talking about the chart? You was talking about the song?
What about men needing therapy after?
100%. Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Like I'm just really getting into therapy, but I realized how I wasted so much energy on things that could have been rectified if I really would have just had somebody to talk to. So I'm 100% for any man who going through anything, even if they're not going through anything, they think they perfectly fine, that they definitely need somebody to talk to. So
let me ask you this. How long do you think it'd take for you to be in a relationship for you, after the breakup? Like a 2-year relationship? Does it have to be 6 months? Does it have to be 7 years for you to think that you need to talk to somebody?
Man, if you just fucking with her every now and then, you know what I mean? You should talk to somebody about it. For real. Because, those emotions are on and off too. And then you might say you're a player, this and that, and then this don't mean this and this don't mean this. And then you talk to somebody and realize that it does mean a lot to you. You know what I mean? So it don't matter how long it is. It just matters who you are mentally, where you at, and what you need to bring out.
Well, wise man told me, he said, as long as that you're with the person, and y'all, this is my, I agree with him. and this is nobody else's opinion, but he said as long as you're with a person, that's how long it takes you to get over the person.
I always heard it was half of that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying,
and
and doesn't mean right. It doesn't mean that you still are deeply in love, but it means that if you see him with somebody, that it doesn't affect you. You know what I'm saying?
Run up on him and do a ring.
You don't have to be right. You don't have to be in love with somebody to see him with somebody, and it becomes a different situation.
Sometimes it's a relief, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes it's a relief.
It depends on where you're sitting.
Sometimes it's a relief. So did you want to add anything?
No, just on that point, what you were saying about seeing them, even if it's been a while and stuff. I know there was one point where it was like, well, what? Why wasn't I good enough? You know, I hadn't gone to therapy like I should have after that breakup. But even though I was over it, didn't hurt anymore, I had moved on, and I knew that person had moved on. But when I saw him, it was like, why wasn't I good enough? And how that partly manifested, and this happened actually with a bunch of straight women, I started working out because I knew I needed that in D.C. to get noticed, the muscular. So then it was, I had the muscles, I had the education, I had the jobs, I had the money, I'm a nice guy, I got a relationship with God. You gotta pick me. You just got to. I'm the whole complete package.
But you didn't have therapy.
I'm a gentleman.
But you didn't have
But
therapy.
I didn't have therapy. And once I got therapy, I knew to let all that go and just be me because I had lost my confidence.
And you was using
And
the
I was
other
putting
stuff
all
to
that
build
other
it up.
stuff. Yeah.
To build it up. Did you want to? I mean, well, let me ask you. You know, before we get to back to Brian, what did you think about when I, said, and I know you just said something, but
Right.
what did
Yeah,
you think initially? Because we talked about the conversation. So, what did you think about it?
Well, I think it's like, it's akin to having an open wound. You're going to go to the doctor to see if it's cleaned up, it's not infected, and to get stitches. But we don't do that with the wounds of our hearts and our mind and our self-esteem.
I agree with that.
I think that's what I thought when you said, and you do. And to take it even out the realm of romantic relationship, when I was about 18, 19, my parents were trying something different. We only went maybe 3 times. But we did go see a therapist as a family. And I remember at one point, my dad was ready to jump over the table. My mother and the therapist calmed him down. But when we walked out that day, we were all hugged up crying with tears in our eyes. And because I had expressed what it was that I felt like I couldn't tell my mom and my dad. And they had expressed their expectations and their disappointments in ways that I know the way my parents were, they would never have told me about the disappointments the way that they did and what they were related to in terms of what they were trying to raise their children to do and be. But we got it all out there and we were able to move on.
Did you want to add anything to that?
No, it was, I mean, you guys are
said
hitting dead
everything,
on.
right?
Yeah, you guys are hitting dead on. But definitely, just with these breakups, you got to think of some of the other risky behaviors such as substance abuse. Also, risky sexual behavior. How many people get them rebounds? So we're putting ourselves up there in so many different ways. So, it's just things to think about. Like we said, it damages the self-esteem. It makes you wonder, it damages your self-worth. Who am I? And again, why wasn't I good enough? And if one thing I know for sure, and 2 things for certain, I've seen some women, they go in competition and they won't leave a guy alone trying to compete and outcompete the other girl.
Yeah.
Knowing they're in a messy situation.
Right.
But they'd rather compete.
All day.
Yeah.
Right.
And can I, if I can, just what you said too about, I know there were times, even if it was just a big argument and like, I don't want to see you anymore, I put on my tightest muscle shirt and I went out and I was going to get some sex that night. And it wasn't about being horny. It's because I needed somebody to tell me I was beautiful. I was wanted. And that wasn't the right way to deal with the shit.
Not at all.
But it's all about validation and throughout life. And we can dive into that. Real deep because validation of how you doing some things.
That was the reason why I got divorced.
Can also show you what self-love really is. Right. And it'll alleviate all that. You know what I mean? Like for real. Like all those feelings that we talk about, like on some self-love, understanding who you are and then taking on what you've done in relationships and who you are, taking all the responsibility. that'll stop like all them feelings, dog. You know what I mean? And it's crazy, but it nips them in the bud before they grow into being, you know what I mean, something that's just out of hand. So that's why I think brothers need to definitely go to therapy, regardless of what's going on.
Right. And my thing is we all think we smart. We all think we're intelligent. And the thing is, I'm just saying, we all, I'm sure everybody in the sound of this voice and that shared, listens to it, they think that they can figure out what's wrong with them. That's what I meant by that. No. Yeah, maybe you're not the smartest person in the world, but you can figure out what's wrong with you. You think you can figure out what's wrong with you. And I'm not saying you can't, but what I'm saying is you can't fix what's wrong with you. And what you have to do is the therapy gives you the tools to use to fix what's wrong with you. And that's just it. We know what's wrong, but we have to find the tools. And the thing is about the tools is we have to take the time to use the tools. Just because we know what it is doesn't mean it's the right tool to fix the problem that's going on.
That's true.
So you have to know all the tools so you can deal with the correct situation.
And can I take it back just one step? Everything you said, most definitely. I would just add one step before that. Because sometimes you do know what it is, but then there are times you think you know what it is.
Right.
And again, it's out of the romantic. But when I first started going to therapy, one thing I learned and took away for therapy is I was able to separate the relationship my parents were having with me from the relationship that they were having with each other, which I didn't
and you were supposed to
before.
Right, that's what kids are supposed to do.
I kept mixing things up.
No.
And what I realized is that while my father may not have had the right wife for him and my mother may not have had the right husband for her, I had the greatest damn parents in the whole wide fucking universe.
Amen.
I really did, but I was muddling that with
you was being grown.
Yeah,
you was being grown. You was using grown.
And I was
business.
doing it in my head and in my emotions, and that was a help point. So, and I'm gonna be quiet. I got to the point where even to this day, a major decision I will not make without at least getting my father's opinion, and that came from therapy.
I just wanted to add to that. People don't understand. Back in the day, there was at Thanksgiving you had a grown folks table and you had a kids table.
Hell yeah.
And now people put the kids with the grown folks table, and it wasn't because you didn't have the room. It was because kids wasn't supposed to be in grown folks' business.
Right.
At Thanksgiving we finally got to see everybody, and people was out of town, and you finally got to get secrets out that you shouldn't have, but them kids wasn't supposed to hear it. The kid table wasn't next to the grown folks table. Nah. It was way over there
in the basement.
And now in this new day, we don't do that. Right, we don't do that. We allow these kids to be, into grown folks' business and have opinions that they shouldn't have.
Right.
When I was in college, I was in an honors course. It was like 7 of us to get real personal. And I was talking about my parents, and Dr. Barbara Thompson-Guillory at Dillon University said, "Little boy, why are you worried about them two grown people? You don't know what he does for her, and you don't know what she does for him. What you need to be worried about is why are you earning a C in an honors course class?"
They gonna need the help to get back in.
And I got a B minus, by the way.
My man, Profound Rucker. When you heard the title, what did you think about?
It made me think about everything that my ex-wife did. I've been comparing it with every woman I've been with. If they fuck up, that one little thing they do to fuck up, if it was anything like my wife, they dead. It's like, I put them to the side. I wish I had some counseling for that shit. And I'm sitting here thinking about that shit.
She fucked you up, homie.
And how long have y'all been divorced?
Ooh, 2005.
2005.
Damn.
No, my bad, 2008. 2008, yeah.
Okay. So that's like, what was that?
15 years.
15 years.
Yeah, it's like one of them things like, I could have.
You still punishing everybody else.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that shit because I meet a woman who got money problems. I'd be like, nope, go on about your business. I meet a woman who does do anything comparable to her, and I just be like, nope.
You know what? Listen, did you blame the reason that y'all got a divorce on her?
Most definitely.
Of course you did.
That's why.
No, it was a money issue.
No. Until you start understanding the reason y'all got divorced is because of you. you're gonna be like that for the rest of your life, bro.
Amen.
Yeah.
What?
Amen. You got what you
I need to
gotta
talk to
say
you about this after the fact.
No, what you gotta say? Look, right. You about to hear it right now. You about to hear it. You about to hear it right now. What you been waiting to hear?
Definitely. With therapy, first of all, I got to touch back on what you said. When we have a toothache, we don't go to the mechanic, do we? You feel me? And it's been such a barrier for black men because there's no black male therapists out here. I'm 1% in the game.
Right.
So it's hard to find one. And it's hard to get a scheduled appointment. So, but going to therapy, it definitely helps you to understand some of your relationship patterns, okay? It's also an opportunity for self-reflection.
Right.
But just as you said, Ruck, you just clearly identified anxiety.
Absolutely.
Everything that this other lady did to you, or whatever you went through with her, now you're projecting those emotions on the other people. And as soon as you see something that looks like what the other one did, it confirms and validates what you already feel, and it causes you to, revert. So we have to think about that. It's anxiety, and that's what breakups do.
Define anxiety in no context.
Let me break it down.
Before you do, can you understand why Dad said that's
Yeah.
your fault?
I know what you're saying, yeah.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, please.
Anxiety basically means being worried about the future, things that may occur, things that may happen.
Wow.
Because of your experiences, and every action is a reaction of a certain chain of events. Hence, chain reaction counseling services.
Wow.
Because it's all a reaction to something that you've been through.
Yes, sir.
And that's anxiety. Depression to have you sitting there thinking about things that you once had and lost. That relationship that you lost. There's a song out, the girl says, if you want to know if I hate you, I do. But you sit there talking about reminiscing about the past, wishing. So she's reminiscing about the past. That's depression.
Yeah.
Because she's thinking about what she had, the relationship that she had, and then wishing that she could. So she's talking about the future. So we all confused. We don't even know we confusing ourselves.
That's powerful.
But she also sings a lot about mental health because her new song is about her killing her ex boyfriend or whatever.
This must be Janae Aiko.
That's a problem.
Okay, same thing.
You gotta listen to that
She's
shit. Yeah, cold.
She's like, I'd rather be in prison than to be alone. And she said it, you know what I mean? But it's a super eerie song.
You better listen.
But it's letting you know the mental, bro, and she's telling people the mental of what women think and what they going through, dog. And she talking about how like I liked how my boyfriend turned into and did all that, but he ain't about to be without me.
Thoughts of things, man. Thoughts of things.
None of that.
No, I mean for real, thoughts are things.
If I can piggyback off what you said, that was powerful because then when I said, and I think I talked about this the last show, but if I could just reiterate it one more time because that whole idea, and I didn't realize it was anxiety that I was dealing with, and the counselor had asked me, he said, when was the last time you just thought about right now? Right? He said, when did you just was the last time? And I had to think about that because I was so worried about everything that was going on and happening in the past. But that also put me in a place where I was projected into an arena, i.e. the future of what was probably going to be. But a lot of stuff in my now, i.e. my children, my finances and everything else was being neglected.
See.
And I had to really accept that, that, wow, I didn't realize that as you defined it as anxiety, I didn't realize that that's what I was dealing with because I was so, engulfed in the past of everything that was going on, trying to figure out this future for me and my kids, in the middle of this, but neglecting everything in the middle of my right now. See. So that was powerful. So I just wanted to put that back out there because that realizing that was very powerful.
Definitely.
And there's something I want to say that you just said. Like you said, you didn't realize that was anxiety.
Right.
I want to say this, and I finally get to put this out there. A lot of times we don't understand that we're not capable and we don't have the training to give those labels to ourselves.
That's correct.
What we do know is happy and sad because we've been grown up. That's all we know. First thing we know is happy. First thing is sad.
Right.
A doctor ain't gonna tell you sad. He gonna tell you got some kind of problem. Right. Therapy is for you to find out your problem and fix it. But I'm saying in ourselves, we have to realize we're not depressed. I can't call myself depressed until a therapist or a doctor calls me depressed and says I have depression. Because even though I know people that may be depressed, I shouldn't be putting that label on myself because I don't have the credentials to do it. I could just be sad.
I can say you having thoughts
of depression.
That are that way, yeah.
Right.
You should know that you're having thought, and you should be able to catch it like, that's anxiety.
But still, that would still be you assessing it to somebody else. I'm saying you as yourself. I'm saying you don't have the credentials to say, "Hey, I'm depressed." So now you're in the state of depression.
Because I think this is where you're going.
Go, please.
Like if I tell myself, well, I'm depressed, okay, I don't need to go to no doctor. I know what to do about that.
Mm-hmm.
You still gonna end up at the same place where you were, even though
you're
you're
fixing
thinking
yourself.
you're dealing with.
You're fixing yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
that's what I hear you saying.
And we're not capable of fixing depression.
We're not equipped.
We're not equipped. We don't have the tools to fix
Mm-hmm.
depression. So that's when we go to the therapist.
Right.
And the first things first, everybody's got to be against stigma. We got to decrease stigmas. I'm 50 years old now, gentlemen. Real talk. It took me till I was 48 to realize, dang, I just experienced anxiety. And then when I started connecting the dots going backwards, because as we learn in life, it's much easier to connect them going backwards. Every time I had a football game and I had butterflies, that's anxiety.
Right.
Every time I got ready to go on a first date, that's anxiety. Them butterflies, get ready to kiss a girl, get ready to get your first piece. That's anxiety.
Right.
Hey, can I say, and I feel like we're still in mental therapy, because when you said that last week, I said, that's why I always felt like that before the sports game.
All
day.
That's why. And it would just like almost cripple me.
Watch this. In this dating world, it'll have you having some setbacks. Because you'll be questioning yourself when you go into a different bedroom. You'll be surprised about the stories I hear. Now you questioning who you are.
But to go what I'm saying, that's, it was him to say that was anxiety.
Performance anxiety is the word I was looking for. You find out, let me leave it
I'm
there.
saying you should, unless you talk to somebody about what anxiety is, you shouldn't assess yourself with anxiety. You should assess yourself with things you know.
I had been diagnosed with anxiety for about 10 years, I think, before I even knew what it was or even paid attention to it, dog. Like, I had no idea. Like, for real, I didn't know what it was. Depression, all that. I didn't know what that was, bro. Like, literally, I just was floating around, like, okay.
Just growing up in the atmosphere we grow up in is produced. Anxiety is produced.
Right.
We go outside and we worried if the police gonna pull us over and if we gonna get home. That's anxiety. And that carries over to everything else we do. Just walking out the door, just walking out the door, you wonder if you want to make sure a nigga ain't running up behind you to rob you.
Post-traumatic stress disorder causes anxiety.
That's anxiety. So I'm saying, even though it's not there, we're just in the atmosphere that we're produced. Detroit is a deadly ass city, and though we love to say how beautiful it is and how friendly it is, the numbers tell us differently.
But yeah,
and seeing it on the news, hearing it on the radio, all that's impactful. All that's impactful.
Exactly.
It's passed on. And it's a thing, how long it's been passed down and passed down and passed down. Imagine being enslaved, dog. Knowing like tomorrow I could wake up and I go out there and I do something wrong, crack or whatever, and then I could get beat, I could get killed, I could get hung, imagine that anxiety.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's passed on through the blood and the genes, and it's keep going and going and going and going and going until we stop it.
And we saying that to say, brother, you got anxiety. You might have anxiety. You need to talk to somebody about it.
99% of the time you do.
You think you don't. You think you straight. You don't need to talk to nobody. You good. Just smoke a blunt, drink some liquor. You get it worked out. That ain't what do it. That ain't what do it.
That's
because you still beating on women.
That's the opposite.
You still don't give a fuck about life. Ain't got nothing to lose.
And
therapy will get you out of that attitude.
And I want to speak from the faith-based community, okay? Because, like, say, for example, one of the things as a pastor that I deal with from a perspective of counseling is, and this goes to a concept of biblical doctrine that is unfortunately being taught nowadays, because a lot of people in the faith-based community, they actually walk with a sense of denial, okay, because of some aberrant teaching that is crept into the church. Well, don't say this because it's going to be this and it's going to overshadow. No. In other words, from the biblical worldview, we understand that the world is under the sway sway of sin, okay? And because of
He's
the sway
born
of
into
sin,
sin.
we're born into sin, okay? So because the world is cursed by sin, according to the biblical worldview, right, there's going to be moments that we deal with these type of things, okay? But can we be honest in ourselves? First of all, yes, we do walk in the quote-unquote power and the anointing of the Holy Spirit, but in the same time, in my humanity, because see, that idea of denying something, you're compounding things, and that denial only makes it worse. But at the same time, because even as a pastor who does counseling, okay, I had to come to the realization I need somebody to talk to at the end of the day, because when you're taking on you're taking on all of the stress of the local congregation, and you know you're dealing with your household and everything else, and then people look at you, you know, calling you for answers. I get calls for answers. I get calls for people to do research on their thesis when they're doing book reports and all that. I get so many calls throughout the day. You know,
Then the nigga at the podcast talking shit.
yeah, I got the podcast over there. Right?
I'm talking about me.
Yeah. So my life is always, you know, in that capacity. But then even when you try to bring out the truth of those things, you know, you even get attacked for that, you know.
All day.
And so I'm saying is that I had to realize that even for all the counseling that I do from spiritual perspectives and biblical perspectives, I need somebody to talk
And
to.
can I say on that? Because
Yes.
pastoral counseling is something we learn in seminary and how important it is.
That's correct.
And I say that to say, so if counseling is important for your ministers to have, black men, surely you must need the counseling also.
We need all
Look
the
in the
counseling.
camera and say that. Don't say it to me.
We gonna need a 7:30.
Right, say it in the camera.
It's not, let me say it like this. It's not a lack of faith if you go talk to somebody. Matter of fact, it takes faith to go be willing to talk to somebody.
Be better.
You gonna need a 7:30.
No, my therapist say that her favorite person is her therapist.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It does.
All day.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what she hear, what she got to go through, what she got to fight through, what she got to brush off. You know what I mean? To really tell a person what they really need to hear. I can only imagine.
Being selective about what they need to hear.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
then having to live your own life.
Exactly.
yeah.
That's a lot. I did a film based on that very thing.
You should do another one.
Yeah.
I want
I did 3 films.
Right one to put us all in it. Damn it.
I don't know.
We all get
It'll
that
be
shit.
good.
It'll definitely be good.
It'll be good.
The one I was in was good. So yeah.
This one to be better.
Can Will Smith play me?
No.
No, don't be slapping.
He's slapping.
Yeah, he's slapping people.
No, you
See,
really want to play.
talk about relationships
You're talking
again.
about relationships. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that on air right now because I've been saying it and
Lack
then
of therapy,
nobody.
though. That's why he slapped that man.
No, he smacked that man because they went together.
And lack of therapy.
Doctor.
I'm just saying. It's all. Okay, we back.
Yeah, we back. We back.
What is the I guess I suppose the easiest way to start this journey towards therapy?
That's a good question.
Good question.
Well,
That's vital.
if I could jump in,
How you gonna jump in? It was to you.
but as we're in this quest to develop higher levels of consciousness in any category in our life, we have to chase consistency. You know,
Yeah.
because we can want this, but if you're not consistent with it, you know, it's not going to work. And also, just you have to remember that it's not easy, and this is a challenge every day. But you don't judge a man at times of comfort and convenience. You judge a man at times of conflict and controversy.
That's correct.
So as a man, you got to challenge yourself. And so many times throughout our days, we have opportunities to be disciplined and be consistent. Whether it's making up our beds in the morning, whether it's watching our tone, whether it's not saying the N-word today, whatever it is, we have plenty of opportunities. So that same consistency that we chase in those departments of our life, same thing we chase in our relationships, same things we're chasing in self-development. You know, and again, we know better. And when you know better, and a lot of my clients come in and they go through a lot of the same things, it's like, but you were in that moment. That was your challenge. That was your time to use your tool.
Right.
But what do we do? So therefore, we have to help you develop different stress reduction techniques, help you breathe through those moments,
Tools.
stuff like that.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Tools.
And I want to give you as many tools as you can have. You don't need every tool in the toolbox, but it's nice to reach in that toolbox and grab it when you need
And
it.
have
One
it in
you
the
need.
toolbox.
Where they say it's better to have a situation where it's better be prepared, not have a situation, than to have a situation and not be prepared.
Amen.
If anybody wants to comment on YouTube, I'm gonna be paying attention for these, next couple minutes to add to your comments or anything.
Niggas so shady.
I'm trying to
Niggas in the N-word.
couple minutes. Why we stop cussing?
I'm trying to stop you.
Why did we all just stop cussing? We can't say B words no more. All right, now pass it.
I came in not
Right, that's what y'all said. I didn't agree to that.
Him off in the beginning.
He's
I
trying to be a
didn't
different
agree to that,
man.
and because we have the professional on here,
You
I
didn't
don't
agree with it.
Right, I
You
don't
the
agree.
main one.
But I'm saying I didn't agree with y'all saying don't cuss.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I said. What happened?
But we have the professional in there, and when we share, when
He
we.
didn't say nothing about
I'm
stop
about to
cussing.
share this week. I'm about to share this like 1,000 times, so I don't want nobody to, be like, "Oh, they cussing too much," because that's what I always hear.
Fuck them. They can't say nothing about what's going on in our show. We becoming better people, dog.
Mercy.
We are becoming. This show does. This show does help me out.
No, I thought we was past that though.
Yeah.
No, but let me say this. Ladies and gentlemen, we certainly appreciate you for hanging out with
Hold
us.
on.
today.
That ain't the end of the show.
He just said 1 minute.
No, he didn't. This fuck is going
Oh.
on. Man, you got somewhere to go?
No.
God damn.
You got somewhere to
No,
go.
I thought he had
He wanted this clean because I just.
You gotta take that jacket back.
I was about to give him the keys to park my car, nigga.
I hate you when you're beautiful.
Right.
It's not my fault. I'm the prettiest motherfucker.
I thought it was pretty clean. I thought it was a clean.
Hey, I walked in and said, nice jacket.
I thought he was gonna park the car.
I'm actually gonna borrow that shit.
He down, with the what was that?
I ain't gonna borrow the parking
Shazam.
square, but I'm gonna borrow this.
He got the Shazam beads on and shit.
Them beads.
The Shazam beads.
Shazam.
That nigga on, he give you your wrist. He grant
Talk
your
about the
wrist.
All
beads.
these lost souls.
Ah!
He was like, I want me a Mason. I want my very own Mason.
Stop it. What did you do?
He got rubbed the beads like this. I want my very own Mason.
No, I walked in, I seen them beads. I said, you know what? I said, I hope they clean.
Oh, he said, oh.
Now it's some special type beads and shit. See, man, y'all be waiting. You don't know about beads? No, I don't know. I hope not.
I'm gonna need them to have a latch on them at least.
They be wearing around their neck.
Hey, that new freaky shit. It might be that new freaky shit.
That's what I was like.
Right.
Booty beads around y'all
And
neck.
you supposed to have the little beads to the big beads. They all the same size.
How you know what the same?
Just see that?
I seen it.
The only reason why I know about those was because in my military police days, I had to arrest a guy that was doing some stuff with them things. We had to arrest a guy.
Wow.
That was doing something with
Yeah,
beads.
yeah. Because he was doing around.
Go ahead, Pastor.
No, it was crazy.
Go ahead, Pastor.
I'm gonna race him before. Wait.
Please, Pastor, tell us what happened. Please,
No,
tell
it
us.
was the short side of the story was because
Short side?
drill sergeants and you're not supposed to sleep with the you're not supposed to sleep with the trainees, okay?
Okay.
And so there was a case going on where drill sergeant was supposedly doing some stuff with some of the trainees that he was real provocative. I'll say it like that.
Men or women?
A little bit of everything.
Okay.
And so when because
Be all you can be.
yeah, because basically he was. But that was afterwards. Anyway, long story short, the investigator who was running the case needed another set of eyes to help with all the evidence that they had gathered because they had a ton of evidence with this.
Oh, they had a bunch of beads.
No, they really did. He had film, video.
Whoa.
He had everything, and we had to sit there and decipher all this evidence for hours.
That was camcorders back then.
It was horrible. It was horrible. And I'm letting you know, there's only so much smuck a person can take. Okay?
What a word.
Yeah, this dude, he was filthy. I'm not gonna lie.
What to this bead? I quit.
Yeah, no, it was crazy.
Which is another reason.
And
I'm
why?
sorry, I didn't go into all of that. You asked. Yes. No, I needed therapy. I needed therapy after that case. Oh yeah, I needed some therapy after that case.
This is the reason that jam is called Smuckers.
Stop.
I'm not fucking with you today.
Jam is called Smuckers.
I'm not fucking with you today, dog.
But yes. back on therapy.
Yes, please. Let's get
I
back
wanted to
to
ask him, did those bees cause you any post-traumatic stress disorder?
Actually, it did. It would have had to, though. I would have been. Because if you would have saw the stuff I saw, this guy. You know
So
what I'm
just
saying?
seeing Lou today almost put you on.
No, I wasn't thinking about that because I said Lou looked nice. Lou's looking good today.
But you see them bees though.
He said, was they clean? And it just brought back that old memory.
But Lou,
He said, I was hoping they was. I was like, oh, God.
he was shining and shit.
No, it's shining. He crispy. He
Ain't no
look good.
smear on him.
Right, he's shining.
Ain't no smear on him.
Why your bees shining, Lou?
These are not those bees.
Oh, okay.
I left
I can't.
They ain't got a latch on them. They ain't got a latch on
I
them.
can't
I
with
got a
y'all.
latch on them.
Right.
He's like, hey, I got a license.
Stop, man. I'm making my stomach hurt.
And he brought the handkerchief to clean them off.
Oh my God.
Matching handkerchief to clean them off.
Hey, man.
That's why they shiny.
Can we get back to therapy?
I'm trying to.
This is
I'm
therapeutic
trying to.
right here.
This
Okay.
is-
How do you get that laugh?
It's not therapeutic. It's not.
We was so serious in the show and shit. It had to turn over sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So back
my
to the
grandmother
serious shit.
said to me.
What your grandma talking about?
She said the bitch was so evil the devil gave her back to God.
Oh, damn.
So let me get this out because I don't know how many minutes we had.
Back up. Toss him.
First bitch come up.
I don't know how long we had, but our guest wasn't privy to this information. But let me go ahead and get this out. Something happened this week on Monday, and
Drop the mic.
it kind of goes with this situation. But of course, we got to get it out because this is therapy.
Okay.
So we had a group message, and when we started this show, we started it with 6 people. We didn't start. We started it with us, and then some other people. So it was 7 people, and some other people. One guy was gonna do the computer, and one girl was giving us the information and stuff like that. So I ended up dating the one girl.
We missed it. Miles, what's up?
So
Number one.
I'm not gonna get into it unless
This was
y'all.
after plans had been made for the show.
Not telling us
This
that
was
there
at
was
the
a
beginning.
woman on that.
No.
But at the
thread.
beginning,
Fucked up number 2.
it was 6 names on.
No,
I mean, 6
I'm
numbers.
talking about when you
It
started
don't
dating.
matter.
No. I was dating her
Dating her
before we
before the
started the show.
show. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
She actually, was there to help with
You should have
topics and
told
stuff.
us.
But that's just it.
She was on that thread, bro.
And this
There's
is
so
why-
much shit we could have said.
And this is why.
On the thread?
Not too
thread.
much.
And this is. Look,
I mean,
and
that
this
more
is
than was
why
said
I
on the
wanted-
show.
And this is why I wanted to get it out now.
We still didn't know she was there.
But it was because, I never thought about that y'all just get the numbers. Y'all don't get the names. Right. So she's been commenting, making comments and stuff in the thread.
I had no
I
idea.
didn't even know.
I didn't know. Yeah, I don't think any of
so
it is.
you guys only knew when she decided to, put herself into, I last Sunday, I was already going through a situation of thinking, I had to have this conversation, this breakup conversation. And instead of having this breakup conversation before the show, I was like, I didn't want to affect the show, so I have it after the show. But then Miles said, let's go have a drink. So I went to go have a drink and everything. We talked to the little young, I talked to the young girls. Hey, she was fine. Hey. But, so I didn't want to talk to her when I was drunk. So the next, I didn't want to talk to the girl and have that conversation when I was drunk.
Okay.
So next morning, she made the comment in the group text.
Bro, you got to control your hoes, dog.
Control.
You right.
Whoa.
But that's just
Ain't
it.
that what Will said to Jada?
There was no need to get control because first of all, this is why I brought this out.
No way.
This is why I brought this out because this is the show. This is what. It's so beautiful how we made this, like I always call it gumbo, because when the message came out, y'all was all true to form. I told Pastor Sean this earlier. Y'all was all true to form. Lou, Reverend Lou, stay strong, sister. Black sister, stay strong. We here for you.
Then came
Pastor Sean. If you need to have the counseling, you can come.
Sermon.
he wanted to keep it together. He wanted to keep it together.
Talk to us, and then Dez, true to form. laughing emojis and shit.
I wasn't
Didn't
saying
say
shit.
nothing.
That shit was
I
hilarious.
ain't even have to say it. This
Dog.
motherfucker that don't
I
ever
was
say
saying,
shit.
look,
didn't
I was about to
ever
put a
say nothing.
motherfucking drop mic and walk off the motherfucking comments. Bitch, I said I'm good. dawg.
Control your hoe.
She walked in that bitch said like this. Fuck all y'all. Bam.
So
no.
I think the reason of doing it was because she wanted to be on the show to give her reason
gonna put you in there.
in the comments.
No.
And that's my point.
Nobody's
is
even thinking
we
about
don't even
what
y'all
she was
didn't
talking
even know
about,
who she
dog.
was. Y'all
And
didn't know
nobody
who
even
she
give
was.
a damn what she was talking about. She talking about y'all talking about. Nigga, ain't nobody thinking about that shit. She's been wanting to come on and
why am I in the middle of this?
In all aspects of it, you need to have her holler at that old girl. You need to
I
get
don't
that
need to
back.
have to holler at her. It was
Ain't no
already.
hollering at nothing.
It was settled. It
Man, that's because she said all that in there. That was
saw
I
angry.
what
wish
the-
my girl would pick up my phone and text y'all.
She didn't pick up. She was in there. It didn't matter.
Text.
I don't care where she was. Nobody text her.
My ex
Nobody
girl.
said nothing to her. She came in like, I don't want you.
Okay, hold on.
Man, don't know.
You should have had that conversation whether you was drunk or not. You should have had a conversation with her before Monday
No, you
morning.
don't have a conversation like that when you drunk.
Who cares? She does not supposed to text.
It's your woman.
That's when it was over.
I
That's
don't
when,
give.
That's
listen,
when, don't
my
pay attention
wife
to him,
is
Lou.
not gonna pick up my phone and text message y'all, bro.
You know what?
I talk on shine. I understand that, and that's my point. That's what really ended the relationship
Super
to
red
me.
flag.
Yeah. And this is what I was trying to get at. When that happened, why was that a super red flag?
Because there's no reason why she should even comment on what we're doing to us. That's you and her, bro. If she got a problem with something that you said on this show, that's between you and her. We should not know that at all.
I agree with that.
You hear what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know,
I agree
and
with
then
that too.
So now she opened up a can of worms because what if one of us was like, yeah, she right, man. You should, well, you know what I mean? No, nobody knows who she
and
is,
it breaks
bro.
the trust
I don't know
and
who
shit
she
that we
is.
have, the system we have between each other.
Yes, no reason why she should have.
Right. That's
flat
like
out.
we got bro code going on, and the
It
woman
don't
jumping in
matter
bro
what
code.
you said about her. She don't know us. We don't know her. Whatever comment that you made on her, if she walked through this hall, I couldn't say, "Hey, that's the girl." He said,
Y'all don't know her, right?
I don't know her, bro. So she had no reason for her to comment to us, flat out.
And
Red flag, my
since
nigga.
Miles said we only got limited time and minutes, I can't even really tell y'all what happened in the story. Since we live in it, I can't even tell you how we got to the situation.
We gonna have another drink.
Oh, you gonna have to grab another drink. So, Brian Chaney, did you want to add anything to?
I don't even know what's going on.
I mean, yeah, not to the.
Dog.
I'm like a fly on the wall, but
He said we got to. Well, okay, but because I'm saying if I was to talk about this, I'm quite sure to take another 10 minutes. But we talk about the honesty and everything, and I'm
Don't
sure
explain what happened. Just say what happened. What we talking about? What happened? It
Okay.
takes 2 minutes to say what happened.
No, it won't.
Just
It's
what
the
happened.
story.
Don't explain
matter what, you
shit.
got 2 minutes.
Just explain what happened.
I can't
what
explain
you're
it in 2
talking about.
minutes. So we'll have to do it the next show.
We got a random ass text message, bro, as a group
At 10 a.m. in the morning.
from his girlfriend at the time.
You can read
That-
the message. It doesn't. It don't hurt my feelings.
Put that shit, I read it out. And she just go in on some stuff that he said about her. She
It
basically
actually
saying,
started with Lou's text that morning. It was Lou's text, and actually, when I looked at the film again, it was your comment that got when you was like, "Is this the girl that like to see you fuck other women?"
No.
That's what made her feel like you
well,
know.
she really shouldn't have been texting us then. Don't be commenting on what I'm saying.
Because after I watched the show again, that's what was the comment.
Nah,
'Cause
man.
I looked at it like,
Don't
what,
have
what
nobody
was-
Shine.
on. Don't have
Shine,
nobody
you
on
think
my
too hard.
head.
Don't even worry about it.
And then
I
Lou,
need to know somebody.
and then Lou put
I need
that,
to know everybody
Lou
that's
put
on
that
the
big
text
long
message
ass
thread,
message.
bro.
Look, Lou put that long, but I'm saying it was never.
The Be
She,
Strong
she
Sister
had
text.
already been there. She was there forever, so it was no need to say, "Hey, Dez, she's on here," or my little cousin Javante is on here, because we've been on the same text thread, and it's
How
always
do
been
we
6 numbers.
know?
Because it say 6 numbers on the
But
top.
have they ever said they name? Like I don't.
I've
got
always
no
wondered. I
numbers
thought somebody had like 2
bro.
numbers in there. I've always wondered who like the other 6
It's
were.
been other people.
I'm just saying you can't get mad. I mean, it
Nobody
says 6
said there was a
numbers.
woman on that one.
It say,
Big
it say 7. It say 7 names on the motherfucker. So it can't. You know, it ain't
You read
my
all that?
fault.
It is.
Brian don't be like, hey, y'all
How old
be
are
like
we?
Yeah.
It's definitely your fault.
Yeah.
Let me quiet down.
100% your fault, bro.
Hippo law.
It's my fault.
Yeah.
Why is it my fault?
First of all, You shouldn't have had your girl on that thread.
But she was helping
She was part
with
of
the
the
show.
show.
She was at the beginning of the show. That's what I'm saying. She was helping with the titles. She, when I needed to register this and that, she was helping with that. So she was there to make the show bigger.
So
she was there to help. She was there to help share the show.
Did you tell us that she was working on the show?
What do you mean? Did I tell you? I mean, it's been in the text. That's what I'm saying. It's been.
She been
6
texting,
days.
but you ain't know it was her texting.
It don't matter. Nobody never said that this young lady
But
is
I
text messaging with all
just
these
said
dudes.
at the beginning. I just said at the beginning. I didn't realize everybody's name isn't on the text.
Listen,
So
if
I didn't know.
Girl, it's on there. I'm gonna let all y'all know in the beginning. Hey,
Yeah.
something on this text also.
You would have dropped that text like, hey, what we eating today?
But that's what, there was no
Can
need.
I ask this question?
Please go ahead. Yep.
Were there any?
1 minute.
Were there any? Were there any? I'm gonna take these beads off and use them.
Whoa!
And I don't mean it in a good fun way.
Let me take my headphones off. Wow. He ain't saying shit.
He gonna keep
Hey,
it double
put in the
up.
walk.
But let me ask you this.
He got his own beats.
He had his own beat. Oh.
Don't use
No shine.
Community.
No,
something that you're implying.
Who said no
is,
shine?
were there any text messages from us which would have gave you the inclination to say, "Yo, wait, maybe my boys don't know somebody else is on here"?
no.
Because
I
there's
read
never-
all the messages. I read all the messages all the time. I would have never known she was in there at all.
No,
what I'm saying is,
So I say
No, so there was no reason for them to say that she's in there because there's never been
that's what
there's
I'm
never
trying
been
to
a
say.
text message she dropped that was like,
no, she don't have to even drop.
But there was no. We haven't.
threads.
But all I'm saying that we haven't said
And y'all don't
anything
know
in
who
the
on
thread.
thread.
That it don't even matter. That's like calling me and have me on speakerphone without telling me.
Exactly, bro. That's what I'm
But
saying.
I'm saying it's been there. It's been there.
Even if it's been on speakerphone the whole time. I know that.
It's been there
Who
since
knows
day
what we
one.
could have said?
It doesn't matter.
it wasn't nothing we could have said that she didn't know
That's
about
what I'm
already.
saying. There's nothing we could have said.
How do you know?
There was nothing we could say because she know everything.
Tell me something
talked
possibly
to
you
her about
could have
everything.
said on the text that would have offended her or got somebody in trouble.
You need to get over that stupid ass ex-girlfriend you be talking about.
Well, that would have been after the text because she would have been out of it by
Or
then.
that stupid ass girl you with, or you got anything.
But y'all didn't know her, so why would y'all say that?
But wait.
That's even more reason why she shouldn't have been on that motherfucker. We didn't know.
But taking what he said,
You sound so different out of the mic.
that would not have triggered in your brain. Yo, maybe I need to tell my boy to chill with this shit because she's on this thread.
What?
Chill with what?
That I need to get rid of.
Whatever when you read his text,
It is
and you
March.
saw where
Hold
he
up.
was
It is
have that.
April. I mean, it's like going into April almost. Guess
This
what?
18
She's been there since what? September,
18 weeks.
October.
No,
She's been in there for 18 weeks.
I get that. But I'm just saying, you said you read. I understand what you're saying.
We haven't had a text that would cause for any reason for me because we
I
would
know
start
what
another
he's saying.
group.
I know what he's saying. I know what y'all saying.
I never rob a
Well,
bank
he's
with
saying
call me on
there was
speakerphone.
nothing that was dropped
call
that
me
would
on
make you be like,
speakerphone.
oh, hey, Anthony, you in here because ain't nobody said nothing out of context.
She was
Just in case.
Nothing said out of context
She
that
was
whole
part
time.
of the show. That's what I'm saying.
Hell yeah, she on that motherfucker.
You the only one you still using that
Oh,
thread.
I'm gonna use that. Oh, my shit.
Yeah, dumbass. Lou started a new thread.
Purpose. This is for the host.
Okay, well then that's what should have been done at the beginning. That's what I'm saying.
1 minute was like 2 minutes ago.
Right.
Like 50 minutes ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
But that's it. We thank our special guest.
Yes. Thank you, brother.
Brian Cheney, can you give us your information, where you at and how to reach you?
My name is Brian Cheney, Chain Reaction Counseling Services. That's CHANE Reaction LLC.com. You can reach us. That's our website. Phone number 248-497-6928, or just Google Brian Cheney, black male therapist.
Hey, man.
Thank you so much.
That sounds expensive.
Appreciate you.
How expensive? Do you take steak?
Dude.
I do. It's for the underserved
That's what's up.
population. So
Good.
I'll
Okay.
be a fool not
I need to come get.
Y'all can have this conversation.
I need to have
about,
therapy.
about 30 seconds. Right, I'm trying to get it right.
Yes.
Comment and
Yes.
come back next week.
It's That's
just
It's the That's Just It podcast show.
That's not like
Y'all ain't shit.
Y'all been
Let's
like
do it again. One more, two. 1, 2, 3. It's the That's Just It podcast show. Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless.